Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and guess what? Y'all see the title. This is yet another installment of the Married Man Side Heffa Saga. I know y'all haven't seen one in a while, but a little bit, a little bit has happened. So I was like, let me go ahead and bring this to y'all because I feel like it's going to eventually grow into more and kind of be out there like it was in the beginning. So yeah. And so yeah, y'all. I like I told y'all before, I cut her again. This is the third time I've cut her. Like, look, it's the side profile for me. Like, my head is huge, right? So I've always felt like, me cutting my hair, that ain't gonna look right because my head is so big. My the side. Look at this side. Look at this. Look at the side profile. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, so anyway, I'm just saying, I begin my life like I really like my hair short. I'm gonna eventually grow it long. I've had long hair most of my life until I started cutting my hair. I think the first time I for real cut my hair was in 2006, and I only remember that because that was the last time I went to a wedding, and that was one of my close cousins' weddings, and everybody rolled up on my mama with me being a grown woman saying, well, why did you let her cut her hair? My mom was like, she grown. Like I was in college, about to graduate in some more. But anyway, I digress. I had to let y'all know about that real quick within the first 2 minutes. So, y'all see it's the side profile for me. So anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and get into this video. So maybe 2, 3 days ago, I'm minding my business, right? So then I see the other married man that I told y'all about who reminded me of my ex, who is from Bessemer, Alabama. So he's on my shift. So I'm looking like, okay, I'm thinking that this is an off day for him and that he decided to come in to get some extra money because that's what he used to do when he worked in the same capacity in which I worked. So I was like, okay, that's what he doing. Come to find out, he was able to get back on our shift. So he is happy and he is back. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I thought this man was lying. First of all, the first day when I saw him, he didn't say all of that. And he asked me where somebody was, and I told him what department they were going to work in and all this other stuff. And we hadn't seen each other in so long that I could tell he wanted to hug me. And so, he kept it cordial. Everybody know I love to hug, but I don't fool with 99% of folks up in there. So they ain't gonna never get a hug out of me. I've hugged, what, two, maybe three people in there. And all of them I am like actually for real cool with. And you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't think that they would try me. So yeah. So anyway, then today happened. And I was like, what in the world? Let me tell y'all what happened. So I'm walking to go to the meeting. We have like a meeting 10 minutes before it's time for us to really go to our departments to be briefed on what's going on, if something is going to, be different from what we are seeing posted throughout the building. Like anything that might happen, or if it's going to be business as usual, whatever is going to happen, we get briefed in our meetings. And he is not working in my department. So, I mean, unless there are moments that somebody's out and he gets to work over there, we're not going to be working together, or vice versa when I have to work over there. And even though he doesn't do the same thing I do, I'm upstairs and he's downstairs doing his job or whatever. So y'all, we walking and I had already saw him and spoke. So I'm walking because I'm like, okay, I'm about to be on time for my little meeting. I'm trying to be on time for my meeting because I promise y'all, some days I don't even want to be up in there. So I'm like, y'all better be glad I even showed up. Be glad I even show up, honey. So I'm about to be on time for my meeting. So he started calling me. And like he has on this thick mask. So I was like, it sounded like somebody calling me. And then like he like had to raise his voice. And then I turned around. I'm over here thinking like he really wants something. This man gonna say to me that he still sees that my booty is still hypnotizing folks out here. I was like, what are you talking about? I said, if you don't get out of my face with this foolishness, like he was dead serious. Like he slowed all the way back down after he caught up to me to say that just to watch me walk. Sir. And I just be like, I don't be understanding. To me, I walk, look, I'm weird. I am very weird. I am a nerd. I am random. I just be like, ain't nothing sexy and appealing about nothing I be doing. It's just not. So I just be like, what is y'all talking about? Like, he really be getting his life. Other people really be getting their life. And I just be like, I really do be confused. I be so confused. So anyway, then yesterday, he was at his meeting. And so his meeting was finished before mine because my supervisor came late. Like, he usually comes late anyway, so whatever. So he gonna roll up on me to muscle. So what we got planned for the morning when we get off? And then walked off laughing. I said, if you don't get away from me with this foolishness, he was dying laughing and walked off. But he was like laughing, but he was serious. And I was just like, so anyway, yeah, he is there and on the prowl and ain't said nothing about a divorce decree, nothing else. And I'm not bringing it up because if you really say you want to have some kind of dealings with me, and you know good and well, I done already told you I'm not finna deal with you in any capacity like that, unless you present me with the divorce decree, ain't no reason for you to be coming up and rolling up saying any of this to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't going out on no date or nothing, because he done already told me he want to take me out on dates and all this other stuff. No, I need the divorce decree in hand. I need to see that and go over it and make sure that it's legit before I even consider such a thing. And by the time you finally do that, I might have somebody else. I might be with the dude who I ghosted 14 years ago, for all you know. He done got knocked up in some more by him, married, all of that. Ain't no telling. Life has been very weird. Life has been very unpredictable. Life just be doing a lot. And it's been stuff that I would have never thought would happen, been popping off. So I'm just like, you never know. OG married dude. After he caught COVID, like I told y'all before, his voice had changed and all this other stuff. And so now his strength is back up and he's kind of back to normal now or whatever, right? So like he started like looking at me like he had been doing before. And now it's been like, okay, you back to normal now for real. Like you really looking like you don't care. You are setting it off. Like he will be like, oh, she on break. And he'll like do like he was doing before. All of a sudden you going to break at the same time I'm going, oh, okay. Tell me why this morning he gonna roll up when I was about to go back to my department. And I was texting my friend. Who was I texting? I'm trying to think of which person in particular. My friend who I was supposed to meet up with today, but they was about to draft me to have to work over. And the Lord saw fit for that not to happen. Hallelujah in the name. But anyway, so I was texting somebody and I was looking at, I was buying something and I was doing three things at the same time. I was looking at a YouTube video, listening to music, really four things at the same time, buying something and texting somebody back. And I had to like high step it back to my department. So he was like, ain't that much texting in the world. Just all of a sudden just said this. And so I'm the type of person that if I know you talking to me, even if I ain't looking at you, I'm about to respond in whatever way that I see fit and whatever come out my mouth come out. And so I was like, yes, it is. He was like, ain't nothing that important to be texting that much about or something like that. I was like, I said, yes, it is. He got his entire life and started laughing all hard. I was like, okay. Yeah, I politely went on ahead and I was like, yeah, let me gather my stuff. I politely closed everything out and sped walked back to my department because I was like, yeah, I ain't got time. Y'all, and as I've told y'all before, he works in my department, but not in my department. He does something in a completely different capacity than myself and the other married dude. Like he does not work over, like he works in another part of the building, like doors, stairs, and everything separates us. But he does work in my department. What he does is very important. Even though he comes off as a slow, uh, challenged, or whatever type of person, like when he, like if you were to hear him speak, you would be like, "What's wrong?" He sounds like he missing. But I really feel like with the job that he does, he might be good in math, and if he's not, somebody taught him what to do, and he figured out how to do it, and he's been doing it for years. So it's like he can do it. But without him and the people in the other departments that do that particular job, we wouldn't be able to get what we need to get in order to work. So, I mean, he does have a very vital role there. But I ain't got time because he be looking at me like I'm a delicious steak, and I'm just like, don't nobody have time. Okay, y'all. So the side heifer, the person who he screws outside of his wife and possibly some other people, right? So for the last probably like 3 or 4 weeks, this heifer has been coming to work and basically not doing any work, getting over. And I'm disgusted. So yeah, she legit has not been doing any work. When she is told she has to do work because somebody has left because they got sick or whatever the reason, even if they just don't want to be there, she has gotten angry. This heifer has legit told her supervisor she ain't gonna do nothing. I don't understand what kind of blackmailing got to be going on for the man who is her super. Let me explain to y'all. Her supervisor is like one of the nicest people I have ever met. He will get out there and be with you doing some of the most hated tasks as if that's his job, and it's not. Like, he can decide if he want to help or not, but he the supervisor. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to get his hands dirty, but he really be like, he be doing the absolute most. And she has been yelling at this man. She been basically running this man and telling him, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. You need to go find this person and tell them to come and do this. And it's all in an effort so that she can leave her post, if you will, and go stand up in a married man's face for 99% of the day. I don't understand how she's able to get paid to clock in and go stand in a married man's face all day. But if I was to just say, I'm not going to do no work, they would fire me with the quickness. I don't understand. Yeah. So this person who I told y'all about, whose son was in a like horrific car crash, girlfriend passed away, all it was terrible. She came up to me yesterday and was venting because of her. All 3 of them fell out. It was her, the side heifer, and the other person who barely come to work, but she's coming to work now because, y'all, she got a car note. She done upgraded the car, and the tax money done ran out, so now she got to come to work so she could pay for the car. She done decided, oh, wait a minute, let me come to work. Like, she been working over and everything, trying to make sure she has money. Because I'm like, girl, you have spent like the last 4 to 6 months barely coming to work. And then when you come, you'll leave like an hour or 2 into work because y'all know they had that stimulus check that was coming in for the kids, and she has a couple, and then tax money came in. So she been getting money from the system that ran out. So now the heifer they started coming back to work like over the last like couple of weeks. But like I was saying, that heifer's supervisor, he is one of the nicest people I have ever met in my life. But she legit has gone up to this man that went off on him, telling him what he need to do and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, what does she have on you? I'm not understanding. Like, I don't understand. And like, he has talked to me like matter of fact before about certain things, just letting me know like, oh, like we need this to happen, we need this to be done, whatever. And it's like, even though it wasn't mean or anything, he was literally doing his job and just reiterating something. It was not malicious or none of that. I was just like, oh, okay, he like really trying to drive the point home, but okay, like I understand. But you can't have this same assertiveness when it comes to this side. Heffa, I really don't be understanding. So she will go to him, go off on him. Then she'll go to the people who create the schedule and go off on them and be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. If I was to go to any supervisor and tell them that I'm not doing something that they told me to do that actually is in my job description, again, I would be fired. So it's dumbfounding to me. I don't understand how she's able to stay. And then at this point, I'm just like, I don't know if saying what has been going on to HR would do anything, because at this point, like I told y'all before, the only way that they will like walk her out the door, from what I was told, is if she threatens someone. Like, she has to threaten me or threaten somebody else, and they have to look into it, I guess, investigate, and they don't take, I mean, they say they take that seriously. So just hearsay and little stuff like what I'm saying right now, I don't feel like it's going to apply. So it's like, in my mind, even though this really is something that has been happening for quite some time, probably even before I got there, they ain't gonna do nothing about it. So it's like, in my mind, I'm like, that's gonna be a waste of my time bringing that to his attention. Like, what can I do? But yeah, when she's not there, I've said this to y'all so many times, when she is not there, it is so zen. It is such a nice environment to work in. I don't care if I'm having a miserable day for one reason or another because of something that is out of my control. It's still better than what it would have been if she was there. And it's just knowing that she's there is just annoying, to say the least. But like I told y'all before, I ain't been having nothing going on with her. I ain't been having no issues. She ain't been trying me, and I hope it stay that way. Hope it stay that way. But she just fell out with her partner and the woman whose son was in that tragic accident. And I was just like, I'm saying to myself, you sat up here and she was talking about you and everybody else and creating drama and just throwing random stuff out there to anybody who would listen. You knew she was a snake in the grass, but she saw your vulnerability, excuse me, getting tongue tied, when everything happened with your son, and like, she legit had to take off work to take care of her son and her husband at the same time. It was so much stuff going on. Like, bills was piling up. I sent money to her so that she can go back and forth to this hospital that she had to go to in order to go and take care of her son and eventually go and get him out of there. Like, it was a lot going on. And like I said, this heifer took advantage of her vulnerability and rolled up on her one of the days when she finally like kind of came back more on the full-time side after a lot of the stuff had calmed down that had been going on. And as soon as I saw her roll up on her and start talking, because she hadn't talked to her since she tried me, her, and everybody else, when there was literally nobody but her cousin and one other person who would speak to her. And there are several of us that work up there. I already knew it was gonna be some foolishness. Once she rolled up on her, I was like, oh, they're finna be friends again. All of them gonna be friends again. And it's like, all's gonna be forgiven when you know she's a snake in the grass. That don't even make no sense, but go off though. Then you just sat up here, and not long after that, you got married. So you invited this heifer to your wedding. It wouldn't surprise me if at some point, when she mad at the married dude, or he's mad at her, or whatever, at some point she gonna try to sleep with her husband, just like all these other men whose faces she sit up in all day. Y'all, I really can't. I don't be understanding. You ain't finna come to my wedding after you just tried to trash my name and drag my name through the mud and all. Like, she really tried this woman for no reason, and she was hardly at work. That's what killed me. That's what tripped me out. When all this went down, she really was trying her, and she wasn't even hardly at work. And when she was there, she works. Like, when she's at work, to me, she is the hardest working person that does the job that I do. I'm just saying. So it's like, for you to try to come and drag her, you done lost your mind. You don't do no work, but you gonna try to come for somebody else. So anyway, y'all, they done fell out again. She done got in her feelings because they told her, well, you gonna do some work today, basically. And She got mad with everybody because she couldn't leave and go stand up in the married man face all day. And he do the most. He'll go take a break, and instead of actually going somewhere and minding his business and go talk to your wife or do something like that, he come up here, he come upstairs where we at to go stand in her face for a few minutes. And I'm just like, child. Anyway, so yeah, they on all of them on bad terms right now, and I'm just like, I don't really care. I just prefer not to have to work with none of y'all. Well, not with her. I don't want to work with her, and as long as I ain't really got to work with her, had no dealings with her, I'm good. I don't care. So they tried to try me today, y'all. Last week they did try me. And I was just like, y'all didn't even need me, but go off though. They did all of this. I barely did any work. I mean, I did work, but I'm just saying, like, it's just the meditation that I do and the praying that I do. It's just to the point where it's like, it's almost as if I wasn't doing nothing. And I'm just like, y'all wanted to give me some extra money. Y'all want to give me a couple of pennies for gas. Thanks, I guess. I got out of it today. I was able to get out of it today, and I'm glad because they really was going to try me today. And I had to go get somebody to vouch for me, and I was able to go home. I was like, thank you. And I went and ran errands and talked to some people who live for me for real, who love me and, always want me in their presence and things like that. And, I was able to get some stuff done today. And I was just like, I didn't have to get off work and dread the fact that y'all done messed up 4 of the hours that was supposed to be a part of my day off. So yeah, they really was gonna try me today. I'm talking about as soon as I walked in the door, they had me up there talking about it was mandatory for me to come in. For what? So anyway, I don't think I told y'all about this person yet or not. I don't remember if I did. I might have said it in the one a day situation, but I'm gonna tell y'all again if I did. So there's this guy who I used to work with at 2 different jobs. He's working at this job now, so now this makes a 3rd job that he and I have worked at together. The job that he's working this time, the position that he's working in is the job that the other married man has upgraded to and works, which I'm shocked because he's always been a maintenance person. So I'm like, wonder why you ain't tried to be a maintenance person, because I mean, you know how to do stuff even though you trifling in your personal life. But go off though. Yeah, so to make a long story short, he is cousins with one of my friends. Everybody in this area is just about like kin to somebody. Everybody who works in this area, let me put it like that, everybody who works in this city is kin, because they come from a whole nother area and they live and where they live, they kin folks live there, and everybody commutes from there to come here, and it's just everybody kin. To make a long story short, this man is a nice looking man, like he is fine, but he used to be on cocaine, and he would come to work and snort cocaine. He'll do a bump of cocaine and do the most. Teeth was toe down. Long as he didn't smile, he was fine. And I didn't know this until somebody said something to me about it, his cousin. And I was like, what? And as soon as she said that, all of a sudden I started seeing his teeth. And I was like, oh no. And this is way before COVID. So, yeah. He gonna roll up on me the other day. Didn't you used to work at this? I was like, yeah, and I used to work there too. And he gonna start laughing. And I wanted to say so bad, you know good and well, you remember me from both jobs because you tried to roll up. You tried to roll up. Now, when I first met him, I didn't think he had the slightest interest in me. Not that it mattered because I was in a relationship, but I'm the type of person that I go off of vibes and all that stuff, but he just seemed like the type of person who was not into fat folks, which is fine, do what you do. I'd rather you get from around me anyway. Especially if you are one of the people that you just don't like the sight of me and you have an issue, don't even want to have a genuine friendship with somebody because they fat. You can get on from around here with that if that's what you own. But that's what I feel he was on. So I was like, okay, whatever, do what you do. As long as you come and do what you need to do. When I need you, I don't really care. I'm here for work anyway. Tell me why all of a sudden, after a few years of me working there, he all of of a sudden started like hanging out with other maintenance men. And like there was one guy who lived for me who wasn't a maintenance man. I had already told y'all about him before. This man, he literally was basically considered to be the kingpin of Virginia, a kingpin in Virginia. He's reformed. He got all kinds of businesses. He got money hand over fist from legit businesses that he actually runs and all that. This dude was fine. This dude literally looks like the guy who I ghosted back home. The only difference is the guy here has locks and is taller than him, and he doesn't have a booty. They have the same exact smile. They have the exact same, like, they got this. Because I kept looking at this man like, why he looks so familiar? I'm not from here, so why does man look so familiar to me? And it dawned on me randomly one day. I said, oh my gosh, he looks just like him. Like, they literally look like they could be brothers. This man is 50-some years old and don't look like it because he does not eat meat. I don't think he's alkaline. I think it's because when he went to jail, prison, or wherever he went, that's where he picked up on. And he goes to church, but I think he picked up on some of the ways of the Muslim lifestyle and all that stuff. And he does not eat meat. That man look about 25, 30 years old. Man, that man fine. He don't look. I remember when I found out how old that man was. I said 50 where? 50 where? I think he like between 52 and 55 now. Don't look it. That man is fine for no reason. Man, I can't. So anyway, but yeah, he would see him sometimes like stopped and talking to me. And so he'll come up out of it. I'll be saying to myself, man, if you don't get on somewhere, we'll be having a normal conversation. It was already people hating on the outside looking in because this fine specimen was all up in my face and would make a point to stop by and talk to me before he would go to work. Like, why are you mad? I didn't tell this man to come and say nothing to me. He took it upon himself to start talking to me. We would legit be just talking about his kids, holidays that were coming up that he would celebrate with his kids. He knew I was an Alabama fan, so he would tease me about that because everybody hates the fact that we win most of our games. So he would try to tease me about that and whatever. Like, it literally was random, organic, real conversations. Well, he ain't never come at me sideways, ain't never try to try me. But one time, this man rolled up, and I was like, and other people saw what was going on, and I was like, now keep in mind, I didn't do anything to cheat or nothing. Like, it's like it was a non-verbal, like, whole vibe that happened, and I was like, that's really the only reaction I can give y'all, because I was like, wait a minute, that didn't feel like what we normally be doing, because we normally have our playful back and forth, like, because I'm weird and whatever, because I was being respectful in my relationship. And like, everybody knew that I had a boyfriend. So it was not like, ooh, I can keep a secret and don't nobody know that I got a man. So I can be out here thotting and bopping or whatever, because that ain't even my mood. That ain't even the type of person I am anyway. That is not what I'm on. That's not the type of time I'm on. Not trying to say I'm a perfect person or nothing, but I was not cheating. So the fact that when that situation happened, I was like, and my friend, who, this is why it's full circle, it's coming full circle, who is cousins with the guy who was doing cocaine, who now works with me for a third time at this job. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, yeah, he already be looking. Because at first I was trying to figure out, was that him? Because somebody said to me, they heard that he was back at the first job that he and I worked at, or he was working where I work at. And so I told them, I was like, well, if he works here, he must be training or on another shift or something, because I ain't seen him yet. Then some months later, I finally started seeing him from weird angles. And I'm like, dang, it look like him from behind, but is it him? Then finally started seeing him. So yeah. But he be doing the most. There are new, very, very new people who be looking like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's going on with her? And I'm just like, let me hurry up and get out of here because y'all doing too much. And they be fine. But like I said, everybody married. Anyway, that's all, y'all. Have a good day.